Watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for Defense Affairs receives the Ambassador of the Republic of Cyprus to the Sultanate of Oman to bid him farewell at the end of his tour of duty. The volume of the state's public debt decreases by the end of the second quarter of this year to 14 billion and 400 million Omani riyals, and the volume of public revenues exceeds 6 billion Omani riyals. Oman Investment Authority achieves profits of 1.7 billion Omani riyals, reduces its company's debt by 24% and raises its assets to 19.2 billion Omani riyals by the end of last year. And a national office for local content in the Sultanate of Oman to support national policies and strategies related to this field is established. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Tamas Solyok of Hungary on the occasion of her country's National Day. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for Defense Affairs, received in his office at Muaskar Al Murtafa today His Excellency Andreas Nicolaides, Ambassador of the Republic of Cyprus to the Sultanate of Oman, to bid him farewell at the end of his tour of duty in the Sultanate of Oman. His Highness, the Deputy Prime Minister for Defense Affairs, thanked His Excellency, the Ambassador, for the efforts he exerted to strengthen bilateral relations between the Sultanate of Oman and the Republic of Cyprus, wishing him continued success. For his part, His Excellency, the Ambassador, praised the strong relations between the two countries, expressing his pride and appreciation for the cooperation during his tour of duty in the Sultanate of Oman. The government of the Sultanate of Oman managed to reduce the public debt to about 14 billion and 400 million Omani riyals by the end of the second quarter of this year, compared to 16 billion and 300 million recorded at the end of the second quarter of last year. The Financial Performance Bulletin issued by the Ministry of Finance indicated that the state's general revenues recorded until the end of the second quarter of this year about 6 billion and 197 million Omani riyals, down by 2%, noting that the net oil revenues increased by 3%, recording about 3 billion and 362 million Omani riyals, and the net gas revenues decreased by about 15%, recording about 943 million Omani riyals. Public expenditure amounted to 5.806 million Omani riyals, up by 120 million or 2%. As of the end of the second quarter, the Ministry of Finance has paid more than 558 million Omani riyals in dues paid to the private sector, received through the financial system completed by the documentary cycle. The Oman Investment Authority succeeded in reducing the debt of its subsidiaries by 24% by the end of last year, paying off approximately 300 million Omani riyals of the debt before its due date. The volume of the authority's assets increased to 19 billion and 200 million Omani riyals after achieving profits exceeding 1 billion and 700 million Omani riyals. The authority's investments outside the Sultanate of Oman achieved returns of nearly 10%, which exceeds the targeted annual return of 5%. During the past year, the authority and its companies employed 1,307 Omanis. The authority and its companies also contributed to enhancing local content, as the total work assigned to small and medium-sized enterprises amounted to more than 200 million Omani riyals. Oman is committed to boosting its local content through workforce development, national products, and supporting small and medium-sized enterprises. The strategic focus aims to strengthen the economy, increase efficiency, and elevate the nation's global economic standing. More details in the following report.
The Sultanate of Oman is focused on enhancing local content to strengthen its economy. This includes developing the workforce, promoting national and local products, and supporting small and medium enterprises. These efforts aim to boost economy sectors, improve efficiency, and increase the gross domestic product GDP. The General Secretariat of the Tender Board is dedicated to increasing local content in government procurement and projects. These focus on local content will help launch initiatives that improve the trade balance by substituting imports and increasing exports, attract direct investments through industry localization, create job opportunities for Omani nationals, and raise Omanization rates across various sectors. Currently, the General Secretariat is establishing a national office for local content, tasked with developing national policies and strategies, setting plans and incentives, and creating supportive legislation. The office will also conduct market studies to identify opportunities for maximizing local content and will create a unified database to guide strategic decisions and measures the impact of local content on economic and financial goals. Oman's local content strategy is built on 4 pillars: supply chains, workforce development, innovation and technology transfer, and the promotion of entrepreneurship and small and medium enterprises. These pillars are designed to drive sustainable growth and economic resilience. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television.
The number of food projects in the Salalah Free Zone reached 47 projects, including 27 direct projects with investments amounting to 775.6 million Omani Riyals, representing 16% of the total volume of investments in the region. The most prominent food products manufactured in the Free Zone include milk and dairy products, fish, canned tuna, mineral water, sweets, and others. These projects are part of the strategic objectives of the Sultanate of Oman, represented by the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources, through achieving food security, developing the agricultural and fisheries sector, improving water resources management, enhancing investments, and increasing the added value of food products to meet market needs in a sustainable manner. Still to come in our news bulletin. Soor Maritime Sport Festival launched as a key part of the program celebrating Soor being named Arab Tourism Capital for 2024. Wildfires in the Hirol region of southwestern France were brought under control after it burned more than 300 hectares. Local firefighting authorities said today. About 350 firefighters were deployed overnight between the villages of Jigyan and Frotignan, southwest of the coastal city of Montpellier, according to the emergency services. No injuries were reported as a result of the fires. Ukrainian forces patrolled the country's Sumy region yesterday, launching attacks from the area on Russia's neighboring Kursk region. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said yesterday that daring military incursion into the Kursk region aims to create a buffer zone to prevent further attacks by Moscow across the border. The operation originally began on August 6th, and the president said it was aimed at destroying Russia's war potential. This weekend, Ukraine destroyed a key bridge in the region and struck a second one nearby, disrupting supply lines as it pressed the incursion, officials said. More than 120,000 people have now been evacuated since Ukraine forces moved in on the Russian region of Kursk. As delegates arrived in Chicago yesterday for the Democratic National Convention, thousands of demonstrators gathered to protest. They marched for different reasons, including women's reproductive rights, while calling for an immediate ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. Demonstrations are expected every day of the convention, showcasing divisions on the left in an important week for Harris, the Democratic presidential nominee. The convention is expected to draw an estimated 50,000 people to the nation's third largest city, including delegates, activists, and journalists. The city says it has made necessary preparations with police and the Secret Service. Security will be tight with street closures around the convention center. Back to our local news, the winning teams were honored today in the Dhofar programming competition and captured the flag in its various tracks during the closing ceremony of the two competitions. Organized by the University of Technology and Applied Sciences in Salalah in cooperation with the Youth Center for the Office of the Governor of Dhofar at the Sultan Qaboos Youth Complex for Culture and Entertainment in Salalah. 37 teams from various universities in the Sultanate of Oman participated in the two competitions, in addition to 12 teams of students from grades 11 and 12 from schools in Dhofar Governorate. The closing ceremony included a visual presentation on the vital role of programming in shaping aspects of life in various digital societies. The closing ceremony was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Marwan bin Turki Al Saeed, Governor of Dhofar. Vice Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis al-Raisi, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, received at his office in Muaskar al-Murtafa'a Major General Yusuf Ijhad, Chief of Staff of the National Army for Development of the Union of the Comoros, and his accompanying delegation. During the meeting, both sides exchanged points of view and discussed a number of topics of common interest. The meeting was attended by Brigadier General Hamid bin Abdullah al-Blushi, Assistant Chief of Staff for Operations and Planning, a number of senior officers of the SAF General Staff, and the delegation accompanying the guest. Major General Yusuf Ijhad, Chief of Staff of the National Army for Development of the Union of the Comoros, visited the Maritime Security Center. During the visit, the visiting guest listened to a briefing on the roles of the Maritime Security Center and its efforts to maintain the security and safety of the environment and navigation in the maritime areas of the Sultanate of Oman. They were also briefed on the center's facilities and the technologies and systems it has been equipped with to fulfill its national duties. Soor Maritime Sport Festival launched as a key part of the program celebrating Soor being named Arab Tourism Capital for 2024. The event was held at Mukha Beach and aims to highlight Soor's appeal as a premier tourism destination through a series of exciting marine sports activities. More details in the coming report.
The Ministry of Heritage and Tourism, in collaboration with the Governor Office of South al-Sharqiyya and a number of public and private organizations, organized Soor Maritime Sport Festival. The festival highlights the historical role of Soor as a center of civilization and cultural communication center. Besides, it represents a tourist attraction for visitors from inside and outside the Sultanate of Oman.
You have to be good in sailing at the end, because you're going to be, racing against high level of sailors. So the more you practice, the more you get it, the more you have a chance to win.
The championship includes kite surfing races, swimming races, and traditional rowing boat races, in addition to the sailing experience and sailing via Diam boats, where festival goers will have the chance to enjoy exciting sailing experiences. The festival will also include a special area for fans, an exhibition for small and medium enterprises and handcrafts, food trucks, and a host of entertaining activities.
And we're here for practice race. Today we're doing practice race and I got 10th place. And we're here so we could in SOR Maritime Sports Festival to choose for IODA Asia that will be in Hong Kong and the World Cup that will be in Argentina. We're here so we could choose for IODA Asia and World Cup and practice for it.
The festival seeks to hone the sailing skills of young people as well as contribute to develop tourism to bring about economic benefits and place the Sultanate of Oman as a preferred global hub for hosting international races and a destination for adventure tourism. Some activities of SOR, the capital of Arab Tourism 2024, create a good opportunity to introduce Omani maritime heritage and to maintain it. Sultan bin Saif Sara'i from South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate, Wilaya of SOR.
This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for Defense Affairs receives the Ambassador of the Republic of Cyprus to the Sultanate of Oman to bid him farewell at the end of his tour of duty. The volume of the state's public debt decreases by the end of the second quarter of this year to 14 billion and 400 million Omani riyals, and the volume of public revenues exceeds 6 billion Omani riyals. Oman Investment Authority achieves profits of 1.7 billion Omani riyals, reduces its company's debt by 24%, and raises its assets to 19.2 billion Omani riyals by the end of last year. And a national office for local content in the Sultanate of Oman to support national policies and strategies related to this field is established. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, thank you for watching. Have a good night.